Hey you guys, it's Miss L with Miss L Presents. This is going to be my very first video of 2021. So I want to start out by apologizing. I know that many of you guys were following me on Instagram and Facebook and of course here on the channel, and I sort of dropped off for quite a while. 2020, as I'm sure it was for many of you guys, was a lot of things for me. So as far as the channel is concerned, 2020 just sort of got away from me a bit. I obviously was not posting as regularly as I need to be, and for that I can do nothing but apologize. That being said, I have spent the last couple of months thinking about what I want my garden to be, kind of what I want the channel to be for 2021, and I've decided to do a video to kind of kickstart these things. I want to dedicate this video to two very important people. First is my best friend's aunt back home in Buffalo, who the other day kind of kicked me in the butt and said, "Hey Elle, what's going on with the videos? We've been waiting, you haven't posted anything since last spring, what's going on?" And in having a conversation with her, I realized that I needed to get back into my normal routine and put out some more videos so that way you guys can journey with me this year from the very beginning, and we can learn together and grow together and move forward. The other person that I want to dedicate this video to is my sister Carlin, because she last summer told me about a video, a guy down in Florida who, for, I believe he did an entire year. It may have been an entire year. I'm not sure if it was an entire year, just the summer. But he ate nothing but food that he grew himself or foraged for himself. And while I think I am a ways off from that, I do think that with the proper planning, I would be able to have a large portion of my diet come directly from my yard. And then, of course, I added some additional garden beds and planted a lot of plants this year and tried out some things. Some things worked, some things didn't work, and we'll get into that later. But I know that with anything, a failure to plan is a plan to fail. And I want to start this year off with a plan that I'm going to follow, but also detail everything that happens so that I can use that information to learn for the years to come what works, what doesn't work, what plants, what varieties of plants work well in my garden and in my area here in Atlanta, and what things just don't work well for me. And so in thinking about my plan for 2021 for my yard and for my garden, I decided to get organized. So I have, this is an old notebook that I used to use for something else. I've gone through and added some blank pages like this, just blank white paper, and some blank pages with lines on them. And then I also have a calendar for each month, starting in February, because we're already halfway, most of the way through January. And what I plan to do is to mark down the locations of all of my current garden plots in the yard, in the backyard and along the side, and what's going to be in each garden bed each month of the year. So I have some plants that are already back there. Some plants that you can see in the back are seedlings now that I'll be putting into the yard as soon as the weather breaks at the beginning of March. And then I will also be starting new seeds to put into the garden bed. This is going to allow me to make sure that I do not have any time of the spring or the summer or the fall, my very long growing season here in Georgia, where I don't have plants in the ground. But what I want is to begin to plan for the heavy production months, which here in Georgia are, you know, May through September, and to plan to get as much production out of my garden as possible. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is to be extremely detailed. As you can see behind me here, I also have my seeds that I started. My seed starting this year went a little bit faster than I had anticipated. This year, I wanted to give myself a little bit of an edge and sort of ensure my success a little bit. And so I bought a heating mat. I actually have 2 of them. And the heating mats actually keep the seeds warm and increase the germination rate of your seedlings. So I have some beans back here. I have some peas. And I also have some kale that has come up. I have a couple of things that are still under the seedling starter that have come up, but they're not actually ready to be planted out into their peat pots. I have some leeks in there, and I have some fennel, some bronze fennel. I was able to grow my garlic and my shallots directly in the ground. I just took shallots from the store, and I took garlic that I had in the pantry, and I put it in the ground, and those plants have already started to grow for me, and those will continue to grow into 2021. And I'll be able to harvest the shallots in spring, and I'll be able to harvest the garlic in summer. So I'm starting my plants here in the house, so that way as soon as the weather breaks in March, I am able to put them out into the soil and get a good jump start on the harvest that I'm gonna need, so that way I don't have to remain tethered to the grocery store. I want you guys to stay tuned as we're going through this, as I'm you know, moving through the planting, the prep phase, and getting everything squared away outside. Ask questions if you have questions. Like the video if this is information and that you're finding useful, and also share the video if you have a friend or family member who you think would like this information, or maybe they're starting a garden or have been thinking about it. I want as many people as possible to become untethered from the grocery store. And if you have nothing but a patio in your apartment to use to grow food on, you know, let's get some pots up there, let's get some containers, and let's make it great. Stay tuned. I look forward to getting back into the groove with you guys. Until next time, you guys have a great day. It's always a pleasure. Kisses.